Alexander Isak now rated doubtful for next two Liverpool matches after international development. Liverpool striker Alexander Isak is unlikely to feature from the start before next Saturday's Merseyside derby with Everton. Liverpool's club record signing Isak is not expected to be named in either of Arne Slot's starting lineups to face Burnley 14 Sep or Atletico Madrid 17 Sep after his minutes were limited during the international break. Isak has not played a match, competitive or otherwise, since May, missing out on Newcastle United's pre-season schedule after choosing not to travel with the team to the Far East where the club's tour took place. The 25-year-old instead trained alone, including for a period of time at Real Sociedad's Zubieta base while still a Newcastle player. Isak then trained separately to the rest of his Magpies teammates amid speculation surrounding his future, playing no part in Newcastle's domestic friendly matches or their first 3 games of the new Premier League season. He sealed a transfer deadline day move to Liverpool last week after issuing a public statement disclosing his wish to leave Newcastle due to what he perceived as broken promises by the club's hierarchy. Isak consequently deemed the relationship irreparable and pushed for his Anfield move. During the September international break, Isak did not start either of Sweden's matches versus Kosovo or Slovenia and did not get off the bench for Jon Dahl Tomasson's side during their 2-2 draw with the latter. Isak admitted in his first interview as a Liverpool player that he had endured a difficult summer and, despite efforts to maintain his general fitness, acknowledged match sharpness may be somewhat lacking. Slot therefore is unlikely to select his new number 9 from the start when Liverpool visit Turf Moor this weekend. Given the significance of the Reds' Champions League opener at home to Atletico Madrid, coupled with Hugo Ekitike's current form, starting Isak represents a risk the Dutchman is unlikely to take if Liverpool are keen to get off to a winning start in this season's League Phase 2. It was anticipated Isak may be given the opportunity to start for his country in Sweden's second World Cup qualifier of the international break, but Tomasson resisted the temptation, instead selecting Newcastle winger Anthony Elanga alongside Arsenal's Viktor Gyökeres for the match in Kosovo. Isak was introduced from the bench on 72 minutes, but with his country already trailing by 2 goals. Alexander Isak was reportedly subjected to boos from Kosovo supporters as he made his way onto the field in Sweden's FIFA World Cup qualifying defeat on Monday night. The 25-year-old was playing for the first time in over 100 days, also marking his first appearance since signing for Liverpool. Isak completed a British record £125 million switch from Newcastle United to the Reds on transfer deadline day. As he had trained alone and not played for Eddie Howe's team over the months building up to the big move, there was great emphasis on whether the striker would play for his country during the September international break. That question has finally been answered, as Liverpool's new star got an 18-minute run-out as a substitute in the final stages of Sweden's 2-0 loss in Kosovo. Accounts of the match suggest it was a night to forget for the Scandinavians. Fotbollskanalen go into further detail about Isak in particular, as he entered into a hostile atmosphere in Pristina. The report stated, after around 72 minutes, Alexander Isak was substituted in, while Anthony Elanga left the field. The forward played his first match since May and was met with boos. No specific reason is given for why Isak was booed upon entering the field for the first time in the aftermath of a transfer saga that has divided opinion over his conduct. Realistically, that had nothing to do with the scenario unfolding in World Cup qualifying, as the impassioned Kosovan support hoped their team would hold on to their advantage. The report continued by explaining why Isak was yellow-carded less than 10 minutes after his entry to the field. Muharrem Jashari was hurt in a duel with Anton Saletros, and this angered the Kosovo camp. Both sets of players started pushing each other, and Isak, along with Fidin Alidi and Arijanet Muric from the opposition, were given warnings. At the end, Liverpool's new number 9 was given a good chance after being played through on goal, but shot straight at Muric. The striker managed to keep himself out of further trouble as Kosovo's Lyndon Emirlahu was sent off with a second yellow card in injury time. Isak was also able to avoid any injury scares, which Arne Slot should welcome before an introduction with his new recruit when the Reds resume training later this week. Upon Liverpool's return following the international break, they have a busy schedule, beginning with a trip to play Burnley at Turf Moor Sept 14. Following that are 3 home fixtures against Atletico Madrid Sept 17 in the Champions League, a Merseyside derby against Everton Sept 20, and Southampton Sept 23 in the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup. Premier League clubs issued strict warning after Alexander Isak sets a precedent. Newcastle United have been at the center of transfer chaos this summer, with £125 million Alexander Isak downing tools to force a move to Liverpool and his replacement, Yoane Wissa, forcing his way out of Brentford before a £50 million switch. Newcastle United legend Les Ferdinand has told Alexander Isak he has plunged the future of Premier League transfers into complete chaos after downing tools at St James's Park this summer. The former England and Queen's Park Rangers star was irked by Isak's attitude as he forced a £125 million move to Liverpool to double his money to £300,000 per week by refusing to play or train in pre-season. Ferdinand feels that Isak's replacement Yoane Wissa was influenced by Isak's very public strike with Brentford, eventually forced to sell the DR Congo striker to Newcastle for $50. Ferdinand said, "The way it has happened, everybody is talking about what's next for other players in future windows. Alex has set a precedent now, the way players may go about things. I'm not just having a go at Alexander Isak, Yoane Wissa is included in that as well." People are going to look at contracts now and say, what are they actually worth? If a player can down tools, you have players who are on 6-year or 7-year deals. If you can down tools and say, I ain't playing for you anymore, I want to move, in that case, contracts mean nothing. Ferdinand made huge transfer moves himself as a player when leaving QPR for Newcastle in 1995 for £6 million Bahars, before signing for Tottenham Hotspur 2 years later. Ferdinand said, I can 100% see why Isak wanted Liverpool. The analogy is Newcastle are building the tower still. Liverpool's tower is already built, and they are putting in the soft furnishing. Liverpool won the league last year, and they look a strong outfit and want to add to what they've won. Historically, they are a fantastic club, and Isak will double his money. So all the incentives are there for him as a player, and I totally get it from a player point of view. I just don't like the way he went about it. There are ways to do things, and he could have still had the outcome he wanted. He could have left Newcastle a hero still. But the way he went about it rankles. Wissa comes in with the immediate pressure of adding fire to Eddie Howe's attack, and Ferdinand feels he is more than capable. Ferdinand said Wissa is of an age now where he is ready to take on the number 9 shirt. Wissa has had a couple of good years now in the Premier League with Brentford scoring goals. Okay, perhaps he is not the traditional center forward or number 9 you would think about wearing the number 9 for Newcastle, but I am sure he will go there and thrive. I am still of the opinion that I am not sure I liked the way he went about things. The same way I didn't like the way Isak went about things. But that is by the by now. It's done and dusted, so it is about from a Newcastle point of view. Wissa needs to get his head down and score goals. He has proven that he can score goals in the Premier League, and he seems pretty confident that he can do it at Newcastle on a regular basis. It's exactly what we need.